So Jordan, my aim this week, as I said, was to prove that 100% on Rotten Tomatoes nonsense was bullshit. And so, on my two have not seens are, you're gonna be like, wait, really? Hold on, I just want to make sure before you're gonna be like, wait, really? And I'm gonna be like, okay, no, they both don't have 100%, but one has 97%. So it's close. We'll do the 100% one last. So my first have not seen is a movie called, because I was gonna watch Sinners. I hear it's really good. I've had multiple people recommend it to me, and I thought it was on digital, and then it wasn't. So I had to repivot last minute this morning. So my first have not seen is Beavis and Butt-Head Do the Universe.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
The Earth sucks. Wait a minute. I think the floor's not working.
Because Beavis and Butt-Head was 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. And
that feels high.
I know. And
that feels high until you realize that, yeah, it's just defined by people giving positive reviews, and a lot of people have strong nostalgia for Beavis and Butt-Head for some reason.
Right? Here's the thing. I don't get Beavis and Butt-Head. I'm just going to start this off before I describe this movie to you, I need to say I don't get Beavis and Butt-Head. I've never gotten Beavis and Butt-Head. I'm a juvenile person, and even I'm like, I find them juvenile.
So here's the funny thing.
The appeal.
Here's the funny thing, this goes back to your Wallace and Gromit cultural relevance thing. Beavis and Butt-Head are culturally relevant. They're so culturally relevant that let me finish. That I growing up know who they are and knew who they were, even though I've never actually watched anything Beavis and Butt-Head.
Right.
I've seen small clips of it on TikTok pop up. But I've never actually watched Beavis and Butt-Head.
So that's why I was like, okay, it'll be funny if I watch this.
But I know who they are.
Right? I was like, okay, it'll be funny if I watch this, and I've never watched an episode of the show. And immediately, I don't like Beavis and Butt-Head. They're annoying. And that's kind of the joke, but also it's not the joke. The thing about them is their dynamic is confusing. Because they're a duo, and traditionally in a duo there is a high status character and a low status character. So your leader, so in the case of Tenacious D, Jack Black, JB, is your high status character. He is the leader. But within the dynamic, and he is the quote smart one. Even though he's dumb, he is smarter than KG, and he is the smart one in the dynamic, right?
Isn't Beavis the high one?
Well, that's just it, right? It's confusing because Butthead is the one who beats up Beavis all the time. He beats him up constantly. He's super mean to him, and he's super abusive. But he's also stupid.
Which one's the blonde one?
That's Beavis.
Yeah, isn't he the leader?
No. If either of them are the leader, it's Butthead, but not really. It's really their relationship is confusing because he's also stupid. So it's not like a thing of he thinks he's smart and that defines the dynamic. They're both stupid and they just laugh at dumb shit. They laugh at dumb wordplay. That's not, and they laugh
white privilege. I can do it because I have white privilege.
Yeah. That's a joke in this movie. Like that. It's their.
That's one of the ones I've seen pop up on TikTok, and it just made me roll my eyes.
It got old. The laughing every 2 seconds. It's annoying. It's just audibly annoying, aesthetically annoying. It's annoying. They're not funny. They're and just the fact that they don't get anything is not really all that. I didn't find it all that funny. So I don't think they're funny. I don't enjoy them. I don't think they're funny at all. That having been said, I did think this movie was funny when they weren't in it. Like, this movie is very funny when they're not in it. Like
that kind of defeats the point.
Right. So the plot of this is that they blow up their gymnasium during a science fair, and they get sentenced to go to space camp, and they wind up going to space camp, and they see there's a lunar docking module that when it inserts, it looks like it's a penis going in a vagina, and they become obsessed with it. And they keep doing it over and over again because they think it looks like sex, and they just do it over and over and over again. And this NASA scientist comes up and sees how like effortlessly they're doing this over and over again, and they're like, we should have them do it. And she's like, well, how would you like to do this? Like, how would you like to do this for real? And they're like, for real? And they're like, yeah, would you in space with me? And so the entire movie, they think that this lady astronaut wants to have sex with them. And they're constantly like trying to find her, and so that she shows them all. They wind up in the spaceship. She shows them this equipment, and she's like, "Don't fuck with this because it'll break it." And they wind up like it's like a telescope, and they wind up looking in it idiotically for no reason, and it blinds both of them. So then they go to dock the thing, and it destroys the spaceship, and she gets really pissed off. She realizes that they're just morons, and she's like, "Yeah, you guys are morons."
Who's the moron? The moron that did the thing, or the moron that thought the morons weren't morons?
That's what's so frustrating about these characters and about this movie is they from one moment to the next acknowledge that these characters are the stupidest people in existence, but then there's a bit later on where they've determined that they're stupid, but the guy is still explaining a complex plan to them, and it's like, why are you doing this? You know they're idiots. Like, it pulls me out of the movie immediately. And so, so they wind up destroying the spaceship, and they get trapped in space. And there's a really funny running gag where there's, this lead astronaut. She's like, I'm the lead astronaut. And she's got a co-lead guy who pops up. He's like, I'm co-lead. And she talks over him, and he's like, oh okay then. So the spaceship gets destroyed, whatever. And they wind up in space. And the whole thing is they're studying this black hole wormhole, and Beavis and Butthead wind up getting sucked into this wormhole that transports them back to the at release date of movie, present day of 2022. So they have come from 1998 to 2022, and they run into alternate universe versions of Beavis and Butthead appear from the dimension where they are the smartest version of Beavis and Butthead. And
oh god,
they kind of look like the Watcher, Uatu. And instead of laughing, like doing the heh, instead of doing that, they go, how droll, funny, hilarious, how droll.
Yes, whimsical.
That is amusing. Yes, quite jocular. Yes.
Yes, mirthful. Yes.
Okay, that's enough frivolity.
How droll. Very funny.
Okay, that's
I know.
good.
I was like, that's funny. That is funny. And so they tell Beavis and Butthead that they need to go through this portal, otherwise the whole universe is going to destroy. And Beavis and Butthead interpret that to mean that they need to find this girl and have sex with her. And now this girl is now after having, she thinks she's murdered Beavis and Butthead, and she's become a senator. And the governor, I think she's the governor, and her assistant is now his deputy governor. So every time she introduces herself, he's like, "I'm the deputy governor." Okay, then.
I can't believe I finally get to meet you.
And I'm the lieutenant.
I'm just so interested in all my young supporters, but particularly these two.
And this is this constant running gag that happens, and so they appear, and they're like, "Oh, it might not be them." And they're like tracking them down, and they pop up at this like campaign event she's having, and she runs into one of her campaign. She goes to one of her campaign followers. He's like, "Yeah, did you see these two guys?" Like, confirming that it's actually Beavis and Butthead. And he's like, "Yeah, all they did was laugh at me." And they said,
Mostly they just laughed a lot. From the minute I introduced myself.
Introduced yourself? What's your name?
I'm Richard Wack.
Dick whack.
Well, I've always gone by Richard for that very reason.
It really is them.
Damn it. Order a roadblock on...
Oh yeah, that's what I think it was. I can't remember exactly what it was. Something to the effect of, they heard my name and they wouldn't stop laughing. He's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Richard Normus," and he's like, "Dick Normus." And,
Dick Normus.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah, and he's like, "Well, I prefer Richard," and they're like, "Oh my God, it is them," and yeah, and so then. It's them trying to basically they end up getting arrested and put in jail for crashing a cop car, and
I think the reason why people enjoy Beavis and Butthead, although I think they push too far in the stupid direction, but they're the same kind of humor as like Harold and Kumar, for example, but they're dumber.
But it's not, and I'll get to why it's not just in a moment while I quickly wrap up the description of the plot of this very weird movie. So they're looking for. Oh yeah, so there's a really funny bit where they obviously they're from 1998. Smartphones don't exist, so they run into this like Swedish family or whatever, German family, and they steal their cell phone. And there's this running gag where Beavis falls in love with Siri, thinking it's the girl,
a real person.
Yeah, a real person. Yeah, and yeah, there's a lot of really cringy. Like you already referenced it. There's a bit where they wind up they go to university, and they wind up at a gender studies class, and it's like the teacher being like,
white privilege. We have white privilege.
You guys probably have rich and powerful uncles, and you have white privilege in this, and there's a lesbian looking chick with short hair, and so.
Wow.
This is a classic example of white privilege, and you both have it.
What's that?
Anyone want to fill them in?
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay. So, white privilege is when white people, particularly men, automatically assume they can take whatever they want. And they never have to worry about getting stopped by the police. And they have the inside track for any job
I've got this one, Aisha. They have the inside track for any job they want.
Exactly, Gage. Thank you for that. That's white privilege.
Whoa. And we have that?
You sure do.
I see.
Whoa.
Step aside, please. We have white privilege.
It's really funny because we got a comment on one of our videos about King of the Hill where they were like, oh, King of the Hill is just written by liberal phonies. And I don't think it is, because this movie does that, like, oh, college kids are just like woke whatever kind of humor, like really lazy, like, oh, I'm a gender studies student, and you can't say that because it's not PC kind of humor, you know, that lazy kind of right-wing style of humor. Yeah, it's that. It's like it's really cringy joke. Yeah, so the basically the senator and then a bunch of government CIA guys are looking after Beavis and Butthead because the CIA guys think that they're aliens who have come through an alien portal, and it all culminates in the assistant guy tries to help them escape, and they're like, no, we don't want to escape, because if we escape, she won't be able to find us and have sex with us. Score, as how they put it. We won't be able to score, as how they put it. And so it gets to the end where they're kidnapped, and the government agency, they realize they all want to kill Beavis and Butthead, and it's finally revealed that they just want to have sex with her, and she's like, oh, so you're not out to get me. It just turns out you're just dumb, horny teenagers.
I mean, they are out to get her, just not like that.
Yeah, and she's like, if I have sex with you, will that basically fix this? And they're like, yeah. And then they're called Smart Beavis and Butthead. They show up again, and they're like, oh, if you have to go through the portal now. If you don't go through the portal now, the entire universe will collapse. And the assistant guy's like, no, I'm standing up to you. You two are going to stay here in 2022 and be witnesses to her murder trial for all the crimes she did. We're going to prevent all the crimes. And he gets sucked into the portal, and the portal collapses, and everything is totally fine. And they're like, oh, it turns out we were wrong about that, because even though we are, in fact, the smartest Beavis and Butthead in the infinite multiverse, we are, in fact, still Beavis and Butthead. And I'm like, okay, that's also funny. And then so then the movie ends with the girl inevitably ends up going off with the entire movie Beavis has been trying to tell Siri, who he thinks is this girl, that he's in love with her. And it ends with he's about to tell her that he's in love with her. And the smart Beavis walks up and is like, no, I love you. I've been watching you from whatever. And they wind up getting together. And the movie ends with them in front of the council of the Beavis and Buttheads. And it's an entire, like that scene in Ant-Man 3 where it's all the Kangs. But it's all different Beavis and Buttheads. Like all different versions of Beavis and Buttheads. And they're like, as the one Beavis in all of the multiverse who scored, we congratulate you. And he's like,
sounds stupid.
After you scored, she didn't call you. But that's fine. And there's the funniest alternate version of Beavis and Butthead is there's a version of Beavis and Butthead where they're swapped, where Butthead is Beavis and Beavis is Butthead. But that led me to I had
So
to,
it's Butthead and Beavis.
right, yeah. But he's Butthead, but he looks like Beavis. He's got the blonde hair.
That's trippy.
Yeah. So obviously I watched this movie. I'm like, the movie was funny. Like I enjoyed the movie and I did laugh. I laughed out loud a lot. But it was always jokes from other characters who weren't Beavis and Butthead. Like they were annoying. Like they were so annoying. Like when they were on screen for longer than a minute, I was getting annoyed and I hated it. So obviously that made me want to watch the show. So I tried to watch the show on Paramount Plus and they don't have all of the episodes. So I watched 3 episodes and the show's bad. Like, it's really bad. Like, most of it... Okay, number one, it was on MTV. So most of the show is Beavis and Butthead reacting to music videos.
That might work. I want to dye my hair orange.
Yeah. You look good, Butthead. You should do it.
Yeah.
But, like, they don't say anything particularly insightful. It's usually just them doing the stupid laughs. Or, like, one of the episodes was literally just, at a point, they're just singing the song. And it's like, they're not really jokes. Like, they're not really saying jokes. And it's interspliced between, like, so, like, the first episode that I watched, and this is, like, season 4. So the show's well into its run at this point. But it's like, they go to this farm and they tip a cow. They push the cow over, and then the Beavis gets trapped underneath the cow. And then the farmer shows up, and he's like, "Stop violating my cow and fucking with my cow." And he pulls out a chainsaw, and he's like, "Well, this is gonna be messy." And he starts to go to chainsaw Beavis, and then the episode just kind of ends.
It sounds like the show has always been bad and people didn't have a good sense of humor at any point in time.
Right? Like, I don't understand what the appeal is. Like this of this show. Like, other than, like, the only appeal I can see to it is it was on at, like, midnight and you were stoned as balls. And
nothing better was on.
And yeah, you would just watch them watch music videos. But yeah, it's like most of the show is just them reacting to music videos, which makes sense when and most of the music videos were songs I'd never heard of, which kind of like makes sense when like MTV is relevant and people actually used to watch music videos on TV. I could see maybe like stoners at 2 a.m. watching this, but like
before video killed the radio star.
Maybe like I don't. Well, this was when TV killed the radio star. You mean TikTok killed the MTV star?
TikTok killed the video star. I meant.
But like, yeah, I think what perplexes me about it, because I watched 3 episodes of the show and I felt dumber and stupider for having watched it.
And you were.
The reason why I think it bothers me that this show is so bad and these characters are annoying and awful is it's the same guy who makes King of the Hill. And I think King of the Hill, like the big thing with Beavis and Butthead is like they're fundamentally unlikable and stupid and annoying and nobody likes them. Like they're unappealing in every regard. They're not very funny and their sense of humor is juvenile.
And that's what everyone likes about them, apparently.
Mike Judge, same guy, writes King of the Hill. Like, at their worst, like, even the worst character on that show has a redeemable quality. Like, I think Bill Dauterive is awful. He's an awful person. But, like, he at least has redeemable qualities where you're like, okay, there's episodes where I sympathize with him. Maybe there are with Beavis and Butthead, but based upon the hour and a half movie I watched and part of the show I watched, they seem reprehensible. So I just don't get how someone who can write, like, such decently smart satire and funny shit. But also, again, the characters who aren't Beavis and Butthead in that movie legit made me laugh. So, yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't understand why this has 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. I really don't. Other than, you're right, every person who reviewed it, that probably has like 12 reviews of, because this was a straight to Paramount Plus thing, all of whom have nostalgia for Beavis and Butthead.
Yep, they're the only people who took the time to watch it.
Because, like,
I will say though, considering that the guy who did Beavis and Butthead did King of the Hill, kind of surprised Beavis and Butthead never showed up on King of the Hill.
Right. I will also say I did also watch some of, because I think either before or after this movie, but fairly recently, they got brought back. They got brought back for a new season, and it's completely different than the original show. Like, it doesn't have the music video reactions in it, really, and Butthead is, in my estimation, way too smart. Like, he's like way too smart. It felt off. It was weird. But yeah, I don't like those characters. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's not for me. But also, I'm probably gonna watch the first movie another time. Just be like, just one of these has to be good. Hey there, everybody, it's Endcard Justin here, and somebody down in the comments explain Beavis and Butthead to me. Do it. I don't get it. I've never gotten it. Since I was a kid, I don't get it. I've always found these characters annoying. I don't understand it. Somebody help me understand. But if you would like to see the full podcast this video is from, our Is It Fresh Rotten Tomatoes special, where we talked about the tomato meter once again, click the box on the left. Or, if you would like to see a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We have new videos here almost every single day. Leave us a like if you could, and we will see you all in the next video.